check. I think I'm live. All right. Let's see. I'm working with a bit of an echo. Check one, check two. There we go. Hey, how I sound? How do I look? All right. Hey, Shauna, how do I sound? How's the audio? Great. Yeah, I like using this format because I can go live in multiple places all at the same time. But because it is a third aftermarket or a third party program, Facebook doesn't give it don't give it the love that it should. So I'm going to really need you guys to push this out because it really do make a difference. Let me see something. There we go. Okay. All right. Thanks for sharing, Shauna. Thanks for sharing. And let me see. I'm gonna man, I hadn't been on here so long. And but let me see. Let me see myself. I don't want to create an echo. but I do want to share this out. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me. Okay, we're gonna get the ball rolling in just a second. In just a second. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing these out as well. And if you don't mind, if you could say you hear echo on your end. Oh, no echo. Okay, great, great. Okay, it was something because I was playing two devices, and I know how to fix it. I just hadn't fixed it, but yeah, it shouldn't be on your end. How y'all feeling? Man, the work day is over with for some of us, and then actually, my day is still got a little more to go. But I'm trying to get some things together, and now listen, guys. I came across. Let me take this off. Yeah. Okay, I came across a box that had some of my studio stuff in it. So I say, you know what, man, I'm gonna go ahead and put some stuff together, and and just to get back in the chair again. It just feels good. It feels real good, and man, it's been so long, since I, did a typical podcast. But I promise you, just doing it on Facebook has been so enjoyable. For those who don't know, I do a Fight for the Family podcast, and I do a power podcast along with my son. Um, and we haven't done the podcast in months, and a lot of it's been because of being in transition. I'm still in transition mode, but like I said, I did find some of my studio equipment, and as soon as I could, listen. I was supposed to have been unpacking boxes, which I did. I completed my goal, but I also said, man, I can't wait to go ahead and plug some stuff up. And it's a lot more. I just, this is nowhere complete, but I just wanted to just get behind the chair again. Feels good, man. Ain't y'all happy for me? Man, you know what? Listen, I'm happy for myself. But, and if the audio is not coming through good, man, I'll let me know, and then because I know I have some tweaking I have to do. What's up, Elvis? Man, what is up, my brother? Man, listen, I hope I don't know what the word is about our trip that's coming up next week, but you know, I, we celebrate my birthday. Hey, my birthday is September the 3rd, so just a couple of days from now. Okay, so but we will be traveling. I'm trying to get my man down to South Alabama because we're going to be celebrating it in Gulf Shores, doing it the way I like to do it, and Elvis, I need you there, man. So listen, pull whatever tricks you got to pull and make it happen, man. All right. All right, okay. All right, so man, we are talking about the ABCs of a successful marriage. And man, we have been going in, like what I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say it one more time. I never man, just your best is good enough. I promise you. I have been I've been, I had to go into the whole Facebook Live thing because I wasn't able, to really do my podcast like I normally would. But but I seen what God was doing, and you have to be mindful because sometimes, you can reject what God is doing, but you don't know that you're rejecting God. Do that make sense? A lot of times you can, you know you'll be thinking that you're doing what you want to do. Well, you will be doing what you want to do, but sometimes what you want to do is not what God want you to do. And man, I hope that makes sense. And I hope I bless somebody with that, because see, what I realize is that, I was building a platform, doing the podcast, and I was enjoying it. And then I got into this, selling my house, and purchasing the house. Got caught up in the transition where, I was, um, I didn't have my stuff. I had to put all my stuff in storage, and so now I'm actually, unpacking, and I'm getting to the place where, I can say, okay, I can see my stuff. But see, this is what I got from that. And I hope this helps somebody. What I realized is that, I was building on a platform, my podcast platform, and I did not know. Well, I wasn't utilizing the Facebook platform, but because I was put in that situation and I did not have my studio equipment, I'm gonna say forced to get into the Facebook realm. Not that I had a problem with it because I love Facebook, but I was just building on a different platform. But what I want you to understand is that, in these last, 32 days, these last 32 days, God have, revealed so much, to me. He have opened so many doors. I mean, there's things that's happening, that, I mean, just are just simply blowing my mind. Relationships are being healed, guys. Come on now, if that don't get you excited, I don't know what to say. Marriages that, where they had already signed the paper and said, it's over with, being rekindled. People were on their way to the divorce court, and I'm getting messages saying that, man, we're gonna give it another chance. We're gonna give it another try. Man, if that don't excite you, something wrong with you. Something is desperately wrong with you. And especially, listen, you better learn how to celebrate other ones, especially if you having trouble in your marriage. You better start by celebrating the ones who stand in the fight. You better start celebrating, man, the ones who um who who you, just like you, man. You felt like, or they felt like all hope was gone, and then and all you seen was just a little bit of hope, just a little bit of hope. You better start celebrating them, because see, when, what you do for others, man, God would do for you. I'm gonna say that again. What you do for others, God would do for you. Man, there's a such thing as planting seed. Listen, guys, man, I'm on a third party app. Okay, um, you know, you're gonna have to share. You're gonna have to share this out. Please, share this out. It don't cost you anything. Okay, but because it's a third party app, Facebook really regulated a little different than if I was going directly, straight on Facebook. Okay, just straight Facebook Live. Okay, so just help me out. Tag somebody. Just take a moment and just tag somebody. Okay, tag them, invite them. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm going to and I'm gonna go ahead and get things going. But let's go ahead and get 6 o'clock, popping, man. Can we do that? Can we do that? Yeah. Man, we going production style. We going production style, guys. Come on, let's give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds, man. Just give me 30 seconds and go ahead and invite some people. Go ahead and invite them. Go ahead and tag them. Go ahead and tag somebody. All right. Come on, you got 15 more seconds. You got 15 more seconds. All right, 5 seconds. 5 seconds. All right. Guys, we are in week 5. Can you believe that? We are in week 5, man. Listen, I want to officially welcome some people. I want, first of all, for the ones who are watching me live, I want to thank you, man. You are my ride or die. You guys have been down with me. I know we've been going 32 days strong, and I know that you've been rocking with me from day one, man. And I love and I appreciate you. To the brother group, man. I welcome you guys on my platform. I know we have some work over there, brothers, man. We're gonna have to stand strong and take the leadership. And I'm glad you guys decided to join and get in on this ABCs of a successful marriage. To the It's Possible group. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then the messages group, man, my baby. Listen, thank you guys for joining. YouTube, man. Listen, hey, man, I'm coming back. So thank you guys for tipping in too. So man, we are here. This is the 6 o'clock hour, and guys, this is you have been experiencing the ABCs of a successful marriage. You say, Eric, man, what is that, man? The ABCs is just simply saying marriage don't have to be complicated. That's it. There's nothing special about it. ABCs is just simply saying, man, quit making it hard. Why you don't have to make it hard? Okay, you got me. Okay, because I promise you, it will be hard. There will be a struggle. There's something that you're going to have to fight for. But guys, guess what? Man, you're going to win. You're going to win. No, you can't fight it in the flesh. I wish I can tell you otherwise, but you'll lose every time. But if you decide to fight in the spirit, man, God said, I am going to join that fight with you. And don't you know that that's a fight you're going to win? That's an unbeatable fight. You know what I'm saying? That's an unlosable fight. Man, I get excited about that because God says, man, I am going to fight for you. I'm going to fight with you, man. And I'll tell you, you will win. The ABCs of a successful marriage, man, we go in at 8 o'clock in the morning. We tell you about the A. And then at 12 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we tell you about the A. 12 o'clock, we tell you about the B. And then 6 o'clock, where we at now, we talk about the C. And today, I'm just going to go right on in and talk about the C. Let me go back because A was being adequate. That's what we talked about this morning. We were just saying, you know what, man, you are enough. You're enough. I'll be honest with you, guys. We talked about being adequate, and we talked about how important. I'm be honest with you. I focused on the ladies. Guys, I love you guys, but listen, I focused on the ladies because I had a message for them, and I said, you're adequate. You're enough. You are enough. Am I say it again? You are enough. Listen, man, and then we went into it, and I talked about how the how important the female role is, the wife role, in the marriage. We talked about that. If you listen, go back and check it out. It's still there. But not only did we want you to know that A was for adequate, I wanted you to know that you were enough, you were adequate. So if anyone is feeling like they're less than, listen, that's just wrong. There is no such thing as you being less than in your marriage. Man, if I was to choose anything, and because I understand the scripture, I understand how, God said that as good as man is, as good as man was, as good as the creation was, man was not able to live out to his fullest capability if he did not have a woman, his woman, Eve. My Eve, you know what I'm saying? That's how deep it is. And I laugh because I'm like, man, I don't see where this less than come from, because God Himself said, man, listen, Adam, as good as you are, man, you're not going to be able to do what I asked you to do, what I need you to do. So I'm gonna have to give you some help. Man, come on, we're talking about God. We're talking about God. Understand, the Most High God said, you know what? I created you, but I created you, and it wasn't like God said, "Uh-oh, I made a mistake." God don't make a mistake. But what He realized is that, in order for man to be able to complete his mission on this earth, he was going to need a helper, and He called him her wife. Don't you ever think that you're not enough. Don't you ever think you're not enough. You understand? You don't ever think you're not enough. You are more than enough. And so we talked about being adequate, and then, oh man, listen, at 12 o'clock we talked about balance, and I went over and I talked about Mary and Martha. Listen, when you talk about, man, you're gonna have to watch. You have to go and watch the replay. If you go watch the replay, make sure you hashtag replay, so I know you went over there and watched it. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I cried. I broke down. I don't know. I broke down maybe 2 or 3 times on that video, because it was something, man. It was God. Right before I was to go live, God put into my spirit the story of Mary and Martha, and we talked about balance, and in that story, if you're not familiar with the, well, let me just recap it for you. Jesus and His disciples came into town. They needed a place to sleep. They needed a place to eat, and Martha offered up her house. Now Martha is in the kitchen. She's cleaning. She's cooking. She's making up bed. She's preparing, and then all of a sudden she came up with this bright idea where she realized that she was doing all the work. She was doing all the work, and then she seen her sister Mary, and Mary was laying at the feet of Jesus. And so she walked over to Jesus and she said, listen, I got all this stuff that I'm doing. I got all this that's going on. And look at my sister. Man, look at her, Jesus. Man, I'm doing all this work, and she just sitting here just looking at me and looking at you and ain't doing nothing. Man. And Jesus did something that was so surprising. And this is why I call it the balance. He did something that just totally, blew my mind. And he acknowledged to Martha. He said, listen, man, I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I know you do. So he acknowledged the fact, he acknowledged the stress, he acknowledged the fact that, that you got band practice, you got football practice, you got basketball practice. Man, you got to take them to the dentist, and you got You got to do their homework. Then you got to clean the room. Then you got to cook the dinner, and then you got to go to work, and then you got to come home, and you got to do it all over again. Jesus acknowledged it, but here come the balance. Here come the balance. He said, but Mary chose the best. Man, what was the best? Mary chose to just sit down and worship Jesus. Mary chose to just to be in the presence of the Lord. See, what am I telling you? See, I call it having a Mary's heart in a Martha's world. See, guys, that's balance to me. That's balance. See, what you have to have the heart to say that, man, I'm going to worship. I'm going to worship. That is the greater of all, is to say, man, I'm going to worship God. But God also, Jesus recognized that you are in a world where you have to do all of this work. But this is what I want you to understand, because B was for balance. I want you to understand, if you want to have a successful marriage, you're going to have balance. You're going to have to understand that there's going to be time for you just to relax and sit at the feet of Jesus, and there's going to be time for you to cook and clean and do all that. But the greater, if you have to decide which one am I going to do today, man, you're gonna have Jesus himself said Mary chose the greater. See, I never did understand the whole self-love thing. Now I do understand the self-help thing, and this is where you look out for yourself. This is where you're saying, I'm gonna make sure that I'm taken care of. Yeah, you're gonna have to sit at the feet of Jesus. You're gonna have to have some balance. You say, Eric, why is this so important? Because see, marriages are ending just because they got out of balance. Yep, marriages are ending. I can tell you a couple right now that I talked to a couple of days ago, and they say, one of them said, I do all the work. I do all the work. I get no help. We got to have balance. And then today, where we at today? Compensate. Compensate, man. Make up for. Man, listen, we're talking about correction. We're talking about the spirit of correction, and our theme for this week. And we got one more day in this week, and we're going to be going to another revelation, guys. Aren't you excited? Man, listen, I'm excited about this. I hope you are too. It might have, oh, man, let me, I'm sorry, I didn't clicked off my comments. Hey, listen, okay, wait a minute. First of all, Tia, hello, how you doing? Queen Mother, good evening, how you doing? Vicky, hey, sister, listen, we, man, Vicky, let me do something right quick. Okay? See if I can do this. Y'all hold tight. I'm gonna do it a different way. Um, yeah. So I had to click on those messages. So I do apologize. But listen, guys. Hey, um, man, am I on it? Somebody tell me. Am I on it? Am I on it or not? Because we're talking. We're talking about correction. Okay, but I wanted you to understand that there's a such thing as balance. Okay, because if you don't have balance, this Shauna said it, you gotta have balance in a marriage. You gotta have balance. Man, we have to understand that man, all of this stuff is gonna happen. All this stuff, our life is gonna happen, but there's nothing better than just sitting at the feet of Jesus. Just, just, I mean, there's nothing better. Because what do, man? You hearing his voice, you listening to his word, you worshiping him for who he are, you thanking him. Thank you, mother. Thank you, mama. I call this having a Mary's heart in a Martha's world. Man, that's balance. But we came down to compensate, and my notes I just have to make up for. And what I want you to understand when we come to compensate, man, I don't want you to think on like money. I don't want you to think that way. I don't want you to think along those lines. I want you to think along the lines of, man, you're gonna fill the gap, you're gonna fill the void. Because when we're talking about having a successful marriage, you gotta understand that you got a built-in partner that has your back. They're gonna compensate. You gotta understand that. Listen, we're not making it complicated anymore. We're gonna make this thing easy. We're going to we're gonna do the work now, because it's not a question of if Satan decides to attack. It's a question of when will he attack. Because right now, I want you to understand that this is the season for marriages. This is the season for rebirth. But in that declaration, you have to understand Satan is saying, if you crank up, I'm gonna crank up. If you try to go to another level, I'm gonna try to keep you down to this level. But understand this: you got an ace in the hole. Oh yes, you do. Because God simply said, He said, "Listen, me and you are unbeatable. We are unbeatable team." Earlier today I talked about those Wonder Twins. Mama, you remember that? Those Wonder Twins from Super Friends, and whenever their power was generated in their agreement. They say Wonder Twins, power activate. Man, that's the power that marriages have. Man, when you operate in agreement. And see, this is where we at, guys. Man, it's time for us to take what God has given us and just go to the next. You don't have to expect a whole lot. You don't even have to do a whole lot. All I want you to do is just think this one simple thing. Just say, I can take one step. I said each person has a job to do, and your job would be to stay balanced. That's right. Everybody got a job to do. Everybody has a job to do, but in every job that you do, you're gonna have to stay balanced in it. Man, that's the world that we live in. I mean, there's a big um, conversation about the way things used to be compared to the way they are now, and it's okay. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, but what I understand is this: that my job may not be the same job as it was back then. But regardless of what time frame, what dispensation I'm in, I have to have balance. And when you and balance isn't all. Yes, come on, sister, come through. Balance isn't always 50-50. That's another myth that we need to start. We need to start debunking. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell a story that you told me, and I hope I get it right. And but it was in the sense of how did you care for your children, and the four of us in different seasons in their life, and I think you said something along the way of you gave when one needed you, you gave 100% at that time, and then when the other one needed you, you gave 100%, but nobody just needed you all at the same time. It was something like that. And but when Renee said, balance is not 50-50, see, you can't go in and start trying to cipher off and just say, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, because it may not work that way. And it's perfect for compensate, because what we're saying is that sometimes you may have to do 100% because that's what your spouse needs. I was talking to a young lady that unfortunately her and her I'll call it fiance have is it has decided to call it quits, and I say, well, what happened? And what happened was, um, he felt as if I didn't have to do all that he should have been doing. And so, in other words, he felt like, if I gave 50% and then you gave 50%, then we should be okay. And but his spouse was saying, but I don't have the same 50%. So they argued about that, and then they decided to end it because they were out of balance. Because if you start trying to measure off how much you love someone, you're gonna always end up out of balance, because there is no measure. There is no measure. But you can't hear me? Can anybody else hear me? Then we do something right quick. Hold on a second. I'm about to get off, but just hold tight. Okay, how do it sound now? Okay. So you good, Elvis? Okay, Ma, I'm not sure. I went and I just adjusted something because I was thinking everybody couldn't hear, but sometimes it okay. It was just mine. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Um, but look, I knew I wanted to do that, but I actually my time is up, and um now, if anybody have any questions, we can definitely, we got time to do that. But the one thing that I want you guys to understand, and we're on day 32. Okay, when I started this, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't think I could make it. I didn't think I can go on three times a day for you know for 32 days. I really didn't think it, but we're here. We're over half done, but we still got some more to go. Okay, we and what I want you to understand when we're talking about the ABCs of the ABCs of a successful marriage. We're simply saying marriage doesn't have to be complicated. What I want to do is I want to bring this conversation to the forefront. Guys, we are simply, especially the body of Christ, we ought to be a little bit shamed. We ought to be a lot ashamed of ourselves. Okay. Because we should have weapons to help us fight off the attack that Satan is bringing on to the marriage. Okay, now we can have that, but we also have to understand that the some of the attacks that we're having is attacks that we are bringing on ourselves. Okay, we're gonna have to fix some things. We're gonna have to do better about some things. And guys, and all I want you to do is just ride with me, okay? Just hold tight. Just ride with me because we're going to talk about it, and we're going to continue to talk about it, because if the church, if the believers can't do better than 52% divorce rate, then we ought to be shamed. We at the very least we should be trending better than the non-believers, the non-Christians. I really do believe that. You back? All right, all right. So guys, listen. But once again, thank you guys. Thank the brothers from B2B. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys from YouTube for joining. Listen, my name is Eric Kirk. And what I do is real simple, guys. I support marriages with tools and resources in order to empower them to create the marriage that they desire. But not only the one that they desire, but the one that they deserve. You say, Eric, well, how do you get what you deserve? It's real simple. What you do is you got to get the tools and the resources and put the work in. Because one thing for sure, guys, whether you put the work in or not, you're going to end up with what you deserve. And sometimes you ain't going to like it. So we got to do our part, guys. So I will be back on tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow would be tomorrow's Friday, so it's going to be the last day for this revelation. Come Monday, we're going to have a new revelation. Some of you probably already know what it is. The ones who got the book, y'all know what revelation is coming up. And those who don't have the book, you need to go to my website. It's in the description, and purchase a copy. I got a brand new fresh copy for you, and then I'll ship it out to you. That'd be a blessing. Also, we have there's a link in my description about the Better Together retreat. Okay, it's coming up in November, guys. There's a limited space, so that means it's limited time. Go and click on that link. Right now, only thing that when you click on it, you're basically saying, Eric, I want more information about it, and then I'll send you more information, and then we can go from there. But I know, I do want to get that information out to you. Okay, so listen, guys, until tomorrow. Okay, you guys, love you. Y'all be safe and bright and early for me. I know some of y'all get up a whole lot earlier, but listen, I'll be here at 8 o'clock, and I'll be unveiling the A. A is for what? If you got an idea what it is, put it in the chat, and I'll let you know if you're right or not. Love you guys. I'm just going to jam out for a second. If y'all have any questions in the comments, I'm still here. Fight for your family. You know who I'm talking to. Fight for your family. Satan wants your seed. Satan wants your seed. So you better fight for your seed. Fight for your seed. I'm not talking about just your money. I'm not just talking about your children. There's a vision in your house. And Satan don't want you. He don't want you to fight for that vision. You're gonna bless too many people. You're going to be proclaiming the name of Jesus. And he said he's gonna have to stop you at all costs. He don't want you to lift up the name of Jesus. He wants you to feel defeated. Oh, but you got a secret weapon. Oh, yeah. Good night, everybody.